So Dee, I was doing a bit of fun practice with my son Ben, who everybody should know by now is a really good player, but he was chipping around the green and he said, you know what, Mum, I'm not getting the ball as close to the hole as I want to. So he said, come and have a look and see what I'm doing wrong. I said, we're actually not doing anything wrong except you're choosing the wrong club. And he had fallen in love with his sandwedge, which is what a lot of kids do.
Everyone falls, they're in love with it, but it's a very deceitful club, this club. It's not loyal.
It doesn't treat you well, does it?
Doesn't treat you well.
We're going to show you why you should not fall in love with your sandwedge, and we're going to start off by showing you some of the shots you shouldn't be playing with your sandwedge, starting with this first one here.
Okay, so we've got plenty of green to work with. I've got my sandwedge. I'm going to need to have a pretty big swing to get it down there. And so you can see the length of swing I had.
And you played it quite
well. I played it really well. I nipped it well, and I've still got 10 foot.
Should we go and get a different club, Dee, and just see what we think would be better? What do you think would be better in this situation?
I'm thinking an 8-iron or a 7-iron.
I agree.
Do you want to be my caddy?
I'll go and get it for you. So, first of all, let's explain why we really don't think this is don't get us wrong. There are plenty of places where it is the right club to use.
The golf course will tell you when it's the right place.
But you've got to know what the golf course is trying to say to you.
You've got to interpret that relationship.
You've got to listen to the golf course.
Hey, they're giving relationship advice.
So here we have a little bit of carry and a lot of green. So you don't need to toss anything up high and stop it dead.
Yep.
Now, if the pin was really close to the front, sure, you might want something to stop quick.
Yep.
But we've got green to work with, so we want to take the loft off, which takes the risk off.
Yep.
So we're going to play the safer shot, which is less loft, which is an 8-iron.
Yeah. Less loft, and less loft simply means we're going to have a littler swing.
Shorter swing. Less can go wrong.
Less can go wrong.
All right.
Let's just hope less can go.
But we haven't rehearsed this. So you're going to pick a spot to land with this?
I have. And
you have to get it closer than that.
Yep. That's the spot I picked.
That's looking pretty good.
And that's looking... It's rolled by. It's left me. It's rolled by a little bit, but it's left me an uphill putt.
Yeah.
But a bad chip is better than a bad pitch.
Exactly. And if something went wrong with that first shot you played, where you've got the great big swing, if you don't quite connect, that's the one that's sculling over into the bunker on the back, over the back, or it's just duffing in front of you.
And also, I think if you're not playing and practicing a lot, like we haven't been lately, a chip is always safer. The margin for error is less.
Much safer. Let's try another situation where you might fall in love with your sandwedge. So now, Dee, we've still got another similar situation with not a lot of carry and plenty of green, but we're downhill this time, and you might be tempted to use a more lofted club, but again, I don't think you need to. Do you?
No, well, I'm still going to go with my sandwedge, and we've got the wind behind us as well. So
yeah, let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
Let's do a comparison.
Yeah, so, but you'll see the length of my swing is still going to be relatively longer. Let's just see. I nipped that one really well.
And it's short.
It's like a gust of green.
What other club's better, do you think, Dee?
I'm thinking my pitching wedge.
Pitching wedge. Let's do pitching wedge.
Thank you. You're a very good caddy.
I know. Great caddy.
I placed this very nicely.
So now the pitching wedge has less loft than the sand wedge. It's a safer shot. You need a shorter length swing. Again, you're going to pick your spot you want to land it. I would say in this situation, maybe about a third of the way, something like that.
Let's see.
You nipped that nicely too. And I don't know if you can see there that it didn't fly as high.
Yep.
And so it went lower and it kicked forward, and it's going to run a little bit more than the sand wedge is.
Absolutely.
And again, closer.
And that one I actually didn't hit as well as the first one, which I nipped really well.
Sorry, there's people coming, we better go. So we've come down to the front of the green now, and you can see here that this is a short little shot, and a lot of people again would go, okay, it's only short, I'm just going to use my sand wedge. But really the safer option here, because you've got a fairly closely mown area, is just a putt.
Just a putt.
Just a putt.
Once again, a bad putt is better than a bad pitch.
Yes, safer option. See what happens, see?
Okay.
See if you can get this sand wedge close.
What's really important too, Annie, is for the average golfer, you want to take the shot that you feel most comfortable with.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
not think, oh, well, my friends say I have to use my sandwich. Well, your friends are wrong.
Yes.
Use your putter. Use what you're comfortable with. Your
That's
friends are
it.
generally wrong.
Your friends are generally wrong. Hate to say that, but try not to listen to your friends too much if you can. If your friends are golf pro, fine. All right, Dee. So we're going to really try and get this one close, but we're going to prove it's not the right shot here.
I nipped that really well. Greens are slow, but see, I nipped it well.
Let's see if you can get your putter closer.
Let's hope I can get one.
You should be able to. If you can't get your putter closer than that.
But you know that? I nipped that beautifully.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
the ball first, but
Yeah, you played it
and
okay.
we're back into the wind.
It's
So there's the other
Exactly,
problem.
you're popping it up into the wind with a sand wedge. There's just so much more inconsistency with a sand wedge, with the connecting with it, the height you get, whether it spins, whether it doesn't. Yeah, look at that,
Yeah, much closer.
much closer.
and
You also gave it a go. It's
I
gone
gave it a go.
past the
Yeah,
hole.
And I, you know, it depends on your skill level, what you want to do, and what
Sure.
you practice. Make sure you're confident with what you're doing.
That's right. I do believe though, if you stood here with 10 balls and did 10 sand wedges and
sandwiches.
and then 10 putts, and you took the average, I think you'd be well and truly
Absolutely.
on top of it with your putter. From here. Now, if the grass was thicker, sure, you'd have to chip
or
over
even
it.
if the pin's way up the back, then I'm probably not going to use my putter.
Yes.
I generally like to use it if the pin's
But then you
closer.
might use an 8-iron or
Or
a
a
7-iron
5-iron.
or even a 5-iron. Something that's going to get you on and get you running, not so much toss it up high and land it stop.
Our
So-
sandwich is not always our friend.
Yep, that's right. Don't fall in love with your sandwich. But we're going to now show you a couple of places where you should use your sandwich. So Dee, now we really do have the right spot for a sandwich, don't we? Why is this the right spot for a
Because I
sandwich?
think the golf course is saying to you straight away, I can't play a running shot because I'm going to run it into
Yeah,
the I'm
yeah,
not going to putt it.
it's not rocket science,
No, it's not
is
rocket
it?
science, it's just intelligent thinking.
Yeah, yeah.
I have to land it over the green.
That's
I
right.
to land
You
it over
have
the
you
ball.
have no choice. Now, if you went pitching wedge, which would be safer, that would still get you over. We'll probably run a bit too far for our pin, where our pin is here. I'm hoping you can see that.
If we could do that, we might aim where there's a fatter part of the
Yes,
green.
if you were a higher handicap and you weren't comfortable going straight for the pin and there's a bit more green over that side, you could go pitching wedge,
Or you could-
safer shot.
If you're off 45, you might just chip it out. To
Yes,
here.
yeah,
Or
down to the front of the green, exactly.
We'll do something on that. All right, so
Right.
I've got a slightly downhill. I'm pitching where I'm going to land it. My main priority is that I must land it over this bunker. I do not want to come up short. I don't
That's
mind if
right.
it goes past.
Yes,
but I don't
ideally.
want to come up short.
Yep, err on the side of a bit too big rather than a bit too small. And be positive with this shot. Really commit to it. Don't get nervy. Just commit and come through. Not you, Dee. The golfing population that we're talking to. Don't get nervy on these shots. Commit.
I haven't played this for a while. I'm feeling nervous. Okay,
I'm making you feel nervy.
here we go. Let's see what happens.
That's nice. That's a good shot. And you've knocked that to a tap-in distance.
Knock that to tap.
So that's a
Yes.
that's a beautiful shot. So
Celebrate, I think, when you do a good shot.
we're proving when to use the sandwich and when not to. You could also use a lob wedge if you really had to stop it quickly, but that is the ultimate in the high risk shot.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely,
so,
the high
so
risk.
this is a classic. You have to use your sandwich here.
Yeah, 100%. And you're feeling confident too because, you know, you're just swinging back and
that's
through.
right.
Like you said, I
Yep.
was accelerating through. I'm ecstatic there, but I felt confident because there was no other shot we could play.
That's right. That's right. You take away any
Doubt.
indecision. Exactly. And I've got one more perfect place for a sandwich, haven't we, Dee?
We have. Let's go to it.
Okay, this is our final, yes, you can use your sand wedge shot. And the reason, Dee, the reason you can use your sand wedge shot here is why, Dee?
Because we've got more carry than we've got green, and also because there's a slight elevation here.
Yeah, yeah.
So once again, I'm going with this because I feel more confident doing it. Like if we're a higher handicapper, we might even decide just to do a little chip and run it along the ground there.
So the bottom line with this shot is that the pin's close to the front. That's pretty much all you need to really know.
Yeah,
Pin's
the
close
pin's
to the
close.
front. And you're a little bit further away. So you've got to carry it and stop it. You could putt from here, but we don't recommend it because it's too far. You could chip and run, but you would have to land it short.
Yep. Or you could hybrid it, that hybrid shot we talked about.
But those are not perfect, only because you're going to have to bounce it through the grass, and it's not as good. Now, if you level, your level of golf is not fantastic, maybe you're a newish golfer, you don't feel confident, then I would suggest you do hit a low running shot.
200%
Yep,
low
yep.
running shot.
But our ideal is sandwich it up.
Do it sandwich here.
Let's see if we can get it close. So let's prove us right, Dee.
I know.
No pressure. That was a good shot. Go on up there. It's not an easy shot anyway, this one.
No.
It doesn't really matter how you look at
what
it.
I did? I forgot to remember we were going into the breeze and it's
Have a second go.
Okay.
This is a difficult. That's just why you don't fall in love with your sandwich, because it's not an easy shot to play. Sometimes you have to play it. That's a good shot there. Yeah, I like that, Dee.
See,
Nice.
But see, you can't control the spin
No.
as much. I nipped it, but it got the spin.
Yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
happy with that. But
That's it.
depending on your handicap level, but sometimes you've got to use the sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you have to go over an obstacle like we did with the bunker, or it's ideal because you've got a bit of carry and the pins close
And
to
it's
the
risk
front.
reward as well. Risk
Yeah.
reward.
Yeah.
Don't fall in love with this little fellow. There are other
Yes.
fish in the sea.
That's right. And do some practice, because if you get out and play with your sandwich, do some practice around the greens, then when you do need it and you know it's the right shot, then you can use it. But don't use it everywhere. That's the moral.
Advice is for you, Ben, in particular.
Thanks for the tip idea, Ben. See you later.
Bye for now. Don't forget to subscribe.
Bye.